shoot, what said you claim it? It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs live. Fast talking, no riddling, moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much make it a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's the matter with King? No response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot, what said you claim?
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. And on this incredible Thursday, Hammer, you know what it is. Today is the day Thor has made. The day before Fight Night Friday. The day we get it in. Because why? We were born to win, never to lose. Now, tomorrow, I get a chance to go see Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. This is true. Oh, man. I love this stuff. This stuff actually moves me. You can see the mask in the back. It's right there. 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 Spider-Man's going to do his thing. Now, I want to give a shout out to my man, Lieutenant Hawk. Yeah, welcome to New York where we don't eat pork. You know that's for real. Now, these dudes be out here eating pork, something crazy, son. All over the place, man. Please cleanse the wicked. Shout out to Lieutenant Hawk. What's good? King, 20 times. What's up? Back from the dead. My dude, when are we going to get you back, bro? You've been working hard. I want to give a shout out to you and your lovely family. That's my dude, George Parcells. What's going on? Nico Natal. What's good? What are you doing? You doing this on purpose? Agile Alliant. Come on, man. Why are you doing this to me? Jinzo. My man. Eric Von Eric. Magnum Force. What's good? What do you have? What are you doing? You're just making up names on purpose just to mess me up, right? You're just doing this on purpose just to mess me up. Was the Xbox financials was a disaster? By what metrics? Tell me by what metrics and I can actually go in on that. What metrics? How was there a disaster? By what metrics? Why are you going to say by last year? Didn't we break it down yesterday? I guess you wasn't here last year. Oh, Mr. Edmund Burns. Member for 9 months. I love that. Soldier S rank. I salute you, Soldier. Let's get back to that. What's the crack, KD? Xbox getting taxed again. Facts, man. It's wild out in these streets. But I'm thinking about it, right? These dudes, they pop out, and they got questions. And I got answers for them. You got questions, and I got answers for you. You said Xbox financials was a disaster. By what metrics? Please name the metrics. Tell me why them being down based upon 2025. What about 2024? They beat out 2024. What are you talking about year on year just for that first quarter? You act like we didn't notice. But then you got Satya coming out with the CFO proclaiming that Xbox is going to be good next year this time. Blessings. You know what I love? I love the fact that you put that in cash, though. I got to respect you.
At Dehofer donated $2 Canadian through Super Chat. By every metric, but I love your show.
Blessings. Yo, the fact that you here, that you super chatted, and that you answered the question, that's what I love. I told you this show is an equal opportunity show. Any individual could show up no matter what side they're playing for. we're down for that. And also want to give a shout out to Isaac Hayes, sent one Xbox Frontline gifted membership. I salute you, soldier. I appreciate you, because what you did was you gave somebody the opportunity to win. Now, I'm going to put this together because I got to box this stuff up. I got to do a lot of stuff here. Isaac Hayes, welcome to Soldier S Rank. I salute you, soldier. Let's get to that music. Let's get to that dancing music. Dance for me. Dance for me. Yo, you ever see that I don't know if it's a meme or it's just a little video. The dude is inside the elevator and he comes with a radio. It's a skit. It's like dance. And then people coming in and they dancing. And there's one dude that ain't in on it and he's standing in the corner. It's like dance, dance, dance. And there's one dude that don't dance. He grab him and slam his head up against the elevator. Then he look over at the dude that ain't in on the gag and he's like dance. And that dude start dancing. You almost pissed my pants. I think that is so freaking hilarious. But I salute each and every last one of you. You know how we do. We put the lion in the chat with the blood in the mouth with the crown on. Why? Because that's how we get down. Feasting on these ponies. Now, you know I call them slugs because they're low down, dirty, conniving. Now, I also want you to know, I hope you don't identify with these slurs, slugs, ponies. I hope you don't identify with that stuff, because that means you're taking this stuff way too serious. Way too serious. But Satya said that Xbox is going to be profitable by this time next year. We already know what situation that they're in. And understanding the situations that they're in, you know they got to do something strange for some change. So Asha came out today and she said this summer we expanded the Xbox streaming to more than 150 million TVs and devices around the world, because not everyone can afford a dedicated gaming hardware. Today we're adding millions more through VIDAAOS, that's the operating system, and I don't know if it's called Vita operating system, and Hisense. So more people can play on the hardware that they already own. This is the streaming aspect of it. So you can see that. That's what that's looking like. I'll let you see it all the way from the beginning. Gotta give a shout out to my man Hollywood Rules. I salute you, soldier. Gonna go see that Spider-Man tomorrow, sir. Gears multiplayer making live service look easy. Yeah.
At Hollywood Rules donated $2 through Super Chat. Gears multiplayer making live service look easy. Winking face emoji.
Some of the lords got a chance to play said thing. I wasn't available to do so. So Lord Cognito and Lord Addict did that. Please check out Iron Lords, where they talk about the multiplayer in Gears, and a lot of information is thrown there. You're going to see a whole bunch of it if you didn't get a chance to watch the video of it. But that's that, and the only reason why I show that is because, hold on. Let's fix that. There we go. Only reason why I show that is because of this. And this is brought to you by Xbox Wire and Chris Schackenberg. Wow. Xbox app available on Hisense and Vita operating systems. Vita operating systems powered TVs. We know for a long time now that Xbox has been signing deals with television manufacturers. They did it with Samsung, they did it with LG, and a couple of others, right? I think it was Vizio. I don't know if it was Vizio, but I have a Samsung television upstairs, Now, a lot of times when y'all see me like post the video or post a picture that has the PlayStation in there, what I did was it's the Samsung television I put upstairs. It's like what is like a 65-inch, and I put my PlayStation on it in the living room. I'm hardly in the living room, but when I'm in the living room, I watch like, Netflix or YouTube. And I noticed that if I have my PlayStation next to my Xbox, I won't game. So I put my PlayStation up there. I won't game on the PlayStation. So I put my PlayStation up there. So when I'm in the living room, I pick it up and I play. I was playing some Suros today. I'm going to get into that. But I also found out that had the app of Game Pass. So I just logged into my joint and I said, let me check out the streaming while I was there. And so if you see in the pictures, you're going to see an Xbox controller right there. Do you know that thing, because my TV, I have it wired in, right? So it's not Wi-Fi. That thing really goes. I'm like, I was playing, what was I playing? It was some live service game that I was playing, but it wasn't Rocket League. Was it Fortnite? I think it was Fortnite. Anyway, I was playing a live service game, and I'm like, I'm waiting for the dropout. I'm waiting for all the stuff to happen. I guess maybe because I was wired in, I didn't get that. But I'm like, this ain't bad. I said, this is dangerous. This is dangerous for the fact that, let's say somebody that doesn't game but purchased a television and just happens to have that aspect to it. Now, there's some games that you can use the TV remote to flick around with it, but you want to pair your controller. So I paired my controller to the TV, and I'm still baffled at it because, again, it's not perfect, but the TV does have like game mode, and what it does do is like smooth out some of the transitions to it. And I'm just sitting here like, well, I truly want a game on dedicated hardware, but if I'm not a gamer, it's an added bonus. It's not something that I'll do first. Now, remember, I told you the story when I went to my father's house and I brought those fire sticks. Well, I brought my fire stick with me so I can game over at his house. And he was like, what the hell is that? And because my son was playing. And, he seen his grandson having fun and he got other grandkids. So he's like, I need that. He orders 5 of them. Put 1 in each room. He orders 5 Xbox controllers. Puts 1 in each room. And while I'm there, I'm helping him set this up. He's not a gamer at all. But when the grandkids go over, now they have an outlet to play. And he's a Game Pass sub, which is wild crazy. But it's funny to see how somebody that wasn't into it, that doesn't have anything to do with gaming, that is so far removed from, my father is so far removed, he doesn't know anything about it. Like he's probably like doing like a Jim Ryan and picking the controller up backwards and playing backwards. But it was something that was available to him. And it was a bridging, connecting point to him and the younger individuals that will be invading his house every holiday or every vacation or every, just stopping through to see the grandparents. He used it as a connection point and a common ground to the youth, or a distraction point so they're just not running around the house. And I'm like, it's ingenious. I remember when Sony did that and they had like the PlayStation app inside Bravias. And I thought that was great. I don't know why they stopped. But I don't know if they will allow, and this is, for Sony televisions, because it seems like Xbox has cornered the market on every television brand. I don't know if Sony will allow them to place Game Pass on Bravias. And this is the statement that is brought to you by Xbox. We're continuing to bring Xbox to more devices and players already own, giving them more ways to jump into their favorite games, especially those who may not be able to afford or justify buying a dedicated gaming hardware. You see, that language is very powerful because right now, these guys have deemed something called the Rampocalypse, which I find very stupid, but people like to name things so they can point it out. And that language around that has driven up the cost of consoles. When this generation normally would have been somewhere around $200 for a Series S, $450 or $400 for a Series X, these consoles have damn near doubled what the initial cost was from launch, making it cost prohibitive to the actual consumer, the casual, that was sitting on the fence waiting for a reduction, listening to podcasters tell them when the prices was going to drop. That never happened. That only went up. And when I explain to people, and it's not a I told you so moment, you can take it as you will. When I explain to people, AI is doing some wicked things, and I'm seeing some trends that don't hold favorable to us. If you're looking to get into console, I think you should do it now. And August 1st, Xbox is raising the price of consoles again. This is funny how this comes out now. Over the past month, we started rolling out Xbox app to millions of Vita operating system powered smart TVs from 2024 to 2026, including supported Hisense models with a compatible TV and controller. This gives you another way to enjoy your favorite games with Xbox. Now, what they're not saying here is you definitely need an Xbox Game Pass plan. I've told you guys before that Game Pass was always the platform. Like, the moment that they initiated Game Pass, the console was secondary to this agenda. Because think about it this way. With their overarching plan, and this was brought to you by Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer, first of his name. Just because the man is not there, don't think his legacy won't continue. It may be somebody pushing the buttons differently, but those buttons were set in place a long time ago. The plan was always to have Game Pass as the main vehicle because Game Pass is more versatile than a console. See, it's easier for you to just grab a controller and to jump to any screen anywhere, and that app is there that allows you to just jump in and game. You see, a lot of times we can think about it this way. We can look at Game Pass and say, hold on a second, I got Coco going crazy. So, like, you go to a hotel room and you see, you can just take the controller, log in and play. The travelability of Game Pass is way more versatile than taking your console, throwing it in your book bag, plugging it in, finding the back of the television, doing all this stuff. Remember all that? Oh, you're going over to your friend's house, you're taking your console, you're plugging it in, you're doing all this stuff. Remember that? that's non-existent because the platform has always been Game Pass. That's something that it's a harsh reality. Is this a good reality? In the climate, it's good for them. For people that love to have something tangible, ownership, and let's not confuse this with anything. We absolutely do not own the consoles that we have. You know why? The other day just proved it to you, right? Why? I don't know. I want to know why the music didn't play for that. Magnum Force, member for 9 months, Soldier S rank. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is forever. Blessings. Bro, the way that Xbox is moving, that statement might be true. The problem with individuals that don't really know business and just know console warring, it's a telling sign when a company explains to you that they're losing damn near $150 per console, but they're able to pivot to a point to make themselves absolutely relevant. You see, what Sega was not a company that was able to capitalize off of other aspects to make them versatile. They weren't. What Sega did was they had to become a publisher in order to stay solvent. Xbox is still producing hardware, even though the hardware is at a loss, but also making their platform, which is Game Pass, available to over 150 million screens. Ownership has been dead this generation and partially most of last generation. And this further accentuates or highlights that truth. Xbox Game Pass subscribers can stream hundreds of games directly to your TV. Game libraries varies over time by region and device and Game Pass plan. Whether you're exploring Forza Horizon 6, Halo campaign Evolved, or discovering a new favorite, your progress moves with you. With XPA, let me tell you, I jumped between my Xbox Rock Ally X. I was playing Hell Is Us. And I was playing it down here. And I said, ran upstairs. I said, jumped in the shower, did all the stuff. And I'm getting ready to go to bed. And I said, took out my Xbox Rock Ally. I said, let me get my PC gaming in. And wifey was jumping in the shower. I said, you know what? I'm going to play Hell Is Us. And I jump back in. And I don't know why this stuff baffles me, but it picks up exactly where I left off. Exactly where. I'm at this point where I came out of the first major puzzle and into another biome. And there was a save point right there. And I did that save point and I took care of two entities, those dancers. Those with the white face the white body with the little hole in their face. I took care of those two and I was going to the left and there's like some bunkers and stuff. And I'm just sitting there baffled at, first of all, the fidelity of this handheld, the speed of the handheld, the power of this handheld. That is one hell of a handheld. But I'm looking at the platform and I got you guys. I see exactly where you're going. That no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, I'm going to be able to get back to that gaming and continue on. And it's crazy. It's so easy to pick up and play across devices. Xbox Game Pass subscribers can also stream supported games that they already own, even outside of the Game Pass catalog. That's the huge part. Remember when we was talking about that free stuff, that 1 hour stuff, the beggars can't be choosy tier? Outside of Game Pass, you own a game, you log in, and you're able to stream your game. Bro, that gives your game different legs that it didn't have before. We're rolling out Xbox app to compatible Vida OS TVs over time, with the availability expanding gradually as updates reach additional devices and regions. Here's how to get started. But start playing. All you need is the Vida operating system, smart television supported by Hisense TVs running on Vida operating system 9.6 or higher. For more information, compatible models, contact Vida support. An Xbox Game Pass subscription, Ultimate, Premium, or Essential. A supported Bluetooth-enabled wireless controller like the Xbox wireless controller. Buddy. They're in the business of pushing those controllers out. And remember, they have a special wireless controller that is coming out for cloud streaming that is going to mitigate lag and going to hook up to every television and is a different form factor that we have now. And it's going to be pocket ready, that you're able to just throw it inside your pocket and keep it moving. They're looking at this initiative and this push as something that is essential to growth. And I'm going to explain why that is, because cloud plays a huge factor in all of this. All of this that we've been talking about with cloud and how much money and all this AI push that Microsoft is doing at the detriment of what Xbox is. Is it truly at the detriment of what Xbox is, or is it forcing Xbox into a cocoon to transform, to metamorphosize, to evolve? I know a lot of us don't even want to hear evolve outside of the box. The box is an additive to what the essential platform is. The platform changed a long time ago. And it's not something that we didn't see coming. How to get the Xbox app on your TV. To get started, make sure your TV is updated with the latest Vida operating system 9.6. An Xbox app will appear on your homepage. And here's how. You can do this. You can check all that, download all that stuff, and get busy. What I'm saying is, I don't know how you guys feel about it, because I have the app. I've used the app. But you know what the app doesn't take? It doesn't take physical. You see, this is when I tell you guys that the conversation surrounding physical versus digital is a mute conversation. It's a conversation for old versus young. It's a conversation for Unc versus versus YN. OG versus YN. That's that conversation of how we did it back in the days to how you do it now. How something was intrusive and now something is more elusive. We give Sony a whole bunch of crap for saying that in 2028, they're not going to continue to do that. Individuals, are we going to stage a walkout, a blackout, or we're not going to purchase? While I've shown numerous times that that's not real. What I didn't show was the other side of that coin. I didn't show you that physical bros still out here moving weight. Physical bros is still heavy in these streets. Like, you physical gamers aren't giving up the ghost easy. Like, there's been a language surrounding PlayStation 3 games that says that they are selling in greater number right now. And I salute you guys for digging up all those relics and holding them and cherishing them, because those people that do have them and that are selling them to inflated prices. And my mother always told me that a sucker is born every day. It's the day to day that you're born, you sucker. But PlayStation still makes these sales, bro. And this is brought to you by WGB and Bandon Ronnie. PlayStation physical games still sell millions, and the data shows it. Now we can look at the physical splits on the chart right here, and PlayStation themselves, like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, sold 48% physical. Astrobot sold 45% physical. Assassin's Creed, 36% physical. Spider-Man 2, 34%. Expedition 33, 32%. Monster Hunter Wilds, 30%. Split Fiction, 26%. Black Flag Resynced, 24%. Madden 2026, 12%. Black Myth Wukong, 10%. And he says they've taken Annalina's report here and tried to combine it with the best sales data I could find to give us an idea of how and just how many physical copies was actually sold. Check the disclaimer at the bottom of the chart for full details. But in essence, these are the estimates that should not be taken completely as accurate. But this is the best that he did based upon the available information that he had. And Final Fantasy VII Rebirth sold 2.9, and that was as of July, and it's 2.9 million as of July 2026, with a physical share of 48%. That means 1.39 million of those was physical. That means physical bros is still out here moving. My question is, and Astrobot up until June 2026 sold for 4.3 million, with that was 45% physical, which brings it to 1.97 million, and so on and so on. You can see these numbers speak to units being sold. Why would Sony, in good sense, say, I'm going to move away from this to go chase the digital dollar? The essence in that, we'll get to that in a minute. The essence in that is Sony wants total control. Just the same way Xbox wants total control. The movements of both companies mirror each other. One is saying it, has said it, is moving in that direction and showing improving, while the other one is ramping up to go in that direction. And the biggest problem is they make more money digitally. Despite all those physical numbers, they make more money digitally. And Xbox has help from their parent company in Microsoft when it comes to pushing their digital agenda. This is the reason why Satya can say with all certainty that next year, this time, Xbox will be profitable. By looking at all the companies that they do have, the studios that Xbox does have, and evaluating them with the metrics that they set forth, to making sure that each one is in line with whatever budget is allocated for them, with the projections of growth in every sector, Xbox is utilizing what the parent company has, and that's cloud. That's the AI. The same AI that is pushing forward with the Rampocalypse. The same AI that I feel that is the detriment of everything that we have going forward. But if the whole agenda by all these corporations is for us to own nothing, and then Xbox is showing you, by showing and proving, all these people, 150 million televisions, you had to do nothing. All you have to do is buy a controller, get Game Pass, yada, yada, join in, come in. You don't have to buy a console. if you think that PlayStation isn't eyeballing this, PlayStation televisions, the reason why they sold their digital soul, their essence, their life essence to TCL is because they're able to move televisions all across the world. Now imagine this. Imagine this. Your TCL and your PlayStations have a PlayStation app. We all know that these TCLs are bargain basement televisions, most of them, and you're able to get them at the door when you're walking out with some popcorn, grab a controller, go home, log into your PlayStation account, and play through PlayStation Cloud. You see, because that's their frontier, that's their end game, that's their app, that's where they're heading. But see, Xbox is here already. You know why Xbox is here already? Because Xbox has something that Sony doesn't. They have Microsoft. What Microsoft has, they are a $4 trillion company that is focused on cloud and AI. Cloud and AI is pushing their agenda. So when I say that they're the problem that doesn't care about hardware and they're the problem that is raising the price on hardware, maybe their thought process is to make sure that hardware costs so damn much that if you want to game, well, just go pick up a controller and join into the ecosystem because it's already there for you. If you build it, they will come. Pause. This is brought to you by Hot Hardware and Paul Lilly. Microsoft AI bet pays off as Azure hits 100 billion amid the Xbox slump. Microsoft has released the fourth quarter and full fiscal year of 2026 earnings report, and it showcases better than expected financial performance driven heavily by an explosive enterprise AI demand. What else is new, right? While overall company revenue climbed to $90 billion for a modest 18% growth year-over-year gain, the $100 billion in a full-year revenue for Azure tells the real story. I've explained to you that we're looking at this whole thing wrong. I told you these gaming sites that tell you that Xbox is doing so bad is so blinded by their Xbox bias that couldn't be further from the truth. I just had somebody join in and told me that Xbox financials was terrible, Xbox financials was bad. They're not seeing the truth. They're basing it off of putting it up against whatever Sony is saying. You're locked in a perpetual console war. You're stuck in a place where, yeah, I love it. But when it starts to get to this part right here, the part that I've been warning people about for a long time, the part that these dudes ain't going no damn where. They're not. The part where I said Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer, first of his name, has infected Xbox with a virus that they can't get rid of. It's with them forever. There's no cure for it. It's called Game Pass. They made Xbox software and services tied to xCloud and cloud services, made it the Trojan horse that is available for the gaming pillar throughout every television. Think. That means every television that accesses that Xbox cloud infrastructure is utilizing Azure cloud system. Genius. Xbox goes absolutely nowhere because it's everywhere. Genius. While dudes is playing some weird ass chess, worrying about consoles sold, worrying about how many consoles all year last in place in consoles. These dudes is quietly snuggling up to the boss that is causing all the hardware hikes. You see, it'd be different if Sony was in the driver's seat causing all this RAM shortage and all this console hikes and price hikes. Microsoft is causing this problem. And I know you're saying that the problem, because I'm telling you the problem is affecting Xbox and selling consoles. But what if you spending them out of business by building up your infrastructure, making your homie strong so that when he does evolve, he's already ready? PlayStation doesn't own Azure Cloud System. PlayStation doesn't have a strong cloud infrastructure. PlayStation isn't on every low budget television, high budget television, every television screen, isn't Play everywhere, isn't on every PC handheld. I want you to really wrap your mind about how in one generation, Xbox had made theyself something to be absolutely feared. You see, because the financials that you're laughing at and looking at now, their hardware is down. Yeah. Yeah. What happens if 20% of those individuals that purchase those 100 million purchasing, what if they start running promotions on these TVs? Join Game Pass, but they got to buy a controller. They start placing hardware, because controllers is hardware. You're going to see a spike in hardware. You're going to see a spike in hardware. You're going to see a spike in software and services. You're going to see a spike in daily active users. The true metrics. We're advancing the frontier of the cost to outcome curve, ensuring every customer can turn tokens into business results, says Satya Nadella, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer over at Microsoft. This year, Azure revenue surpassed $100 billion for the first time. Microsoft 365 Copilot reached 30 million paid seats. You see, when Game Pass is at 44 million, Copilot is at 30 million. I want you to rock with me here, man. I want you to rock with me here, man. You're talking about 74 million individuals that have access to the cloud. With those 30 million paid seats from Copilot, which is at a higher token value of whatever Game Pass is the initiative that keeps pushing. Reflecting the confidence consumers are placing in us to power the AI transformation. I told you that they weren't walking away from AI. I told you that Microsoft has pledged more than 140 billion more, 60 billion more than last year towards the AI push this year. I'm sure they will probably start to approach 200 billion in pledging dollars next year to the AI infrastructure, dragging the industry along, kicking and screaming, with the price points for consoles reaching individuals in the upper stratosphere. I see many PCs coming out at the price point of $3,000 to $4,000. I saw a handheld, that was at $5K. I'm looking at what we thought was the unmentionable become the mentionable. When I told you that $14.99 was the base price for the Xbox Project Helix, you laughed. Is it a joke now? When that reality is staring at you, where the Steam machine's highest level is at $14.48. $14.99 for a device that dwarfs that. Seems like a bargain. Seems like I was on to something. It seems like I sat there and studied these guys for such a long time that I was able to run back and bring you this information. The consumer demand continues to exceed available capacity, said Amy Hood, Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer over at Microsoft. Microsoft is understandably ecstatic with those kind of gains. However, the earnings report also highlights a stark contrast between the company's booming enterprise sector and the consumer-facing hardware business. Microsoft's more personal computing business dipped 4% to $12.9 billion. Windows OEM devices revenue decreased by 7%. Xbox content and services slid to 10%. During the conference call and discussing earnings, Nadella said that when it comes to Xbox, Microsoft is making the necessary decisions required across our content portfolio and platform and operations and part of its 100-day reset plan that was previously announced. Xbox is a bit of a wild card for Microsoft. Before Phil Spencer, the previous face of Xbox, departed Microsoft, there was a major push to promote cloud gaming as part of the controversial and now defunct This Is an Xbox campaign. Asha Sharma took over as EVP and CEO of Microsoft Gaming earlier this year, immediately steering Xbox in a different direction, promising fans a return to the brand's console roots. That's where exclusives matter. That's where the brand putting the consumer first matters. You see, this is brought to you by Tweaktown and my man Derek Strickland. Xbox is expected to vaguely return to growth this year in the fiscal year 2027. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella says that Xbox is expected to return to growth in the fiscal year of 27, driven by cost reduction, layoffs, exclusive games, and expansion. By expansion, what do you mean, sir? By expansion is Xbox everywhere at all means. By any means necessary. If a nickel bag is sold in the park, I want in. Xbox is moving this like the Gestapo. You don't want to play nice? Pardon me. Let me get over there. Let me talk to him because he has something that I need. If you can't help me, you're in the way. Excuse me. Getting back to exclusives, getting back to content-driven things, while making the hardware available but not making it necessary, while taking what you already have in your living room and upgrading it and updating it. Well, that's just genius. How many of you guys would love to go inside your car and get an update and have better gas mileage? Well, this is typically exactly what they're doing. Microsoft expects Xbox to return to growth in 2027 after mass layoffs, project cancellations, and studio divestments. Aimed at cutting costs, in 2026, Xbox saw a $1.7 billion revenue decline and a record low hardware sales. That is to be expected, especially when hardware prices are at an all-time high. Every console manufacturer is facing the same reality. But the one console manufacturer that is facing that reality, but that has a valve, an outlet valve, is the one that is causing all the problems. You see, while they're pushing the world to AI, while they're pushing the world to streaming, they're dragging Xbox along, kicking and screaming. While the other ones don't have the benefit to this. You see, it's either pay more to get into the ecosystem, or that's it. Not one of the other console manufacturers give you the option to take the television that you currently own and turn that into a device where you can facilitate your habit, your hobby. Only one is Xbox. And with that being said, we're watching Xbox do what the others cannot. We've asked this company to act like the 800-pound gorilla that we know them to be. Be careful what you wish for, because it didn't happen in the way that we expected it to happen. See, Microsoft, the big homie, didn't look at the little homie and say, yo, I'm going to lower the cost for you so you can move this in the street, because that was never the plan. The plan was never to sell you hardware at a reduced cost. The plan was never to sell you a hardware at a loss. The plan was always to get you inside Game Pass. The plan was always to get you on top of services. You see, the moving away from physical gives them more control, gives them more capital per unit sold. Is that consumer friendly? To me, absolutely not. Is that the way of where we're going? Absolutely. I used to be an iPhone user a long time ago. Had my whole family on the plan. I was using iCloud or whatever. I had the little iTouch, and when I would go to the gym. And then I realized I'm locked into these. They're like controlling everything. And I got out. I went to Samsung. I went to Android. In the beginning, it wasn't as good. I had a separate media device for my music. And then something changed. They started to mimic what Apple was doing. But I had greater ownership over my stuff. Like the music that I do have, the stuff that I do own, it's mine. I have it. I can download it, I can send it, I can place it, I can take the file, I can put it anywhere. And that gave me better control over the stuff that I wanted. But then along came Amazon, and then I got locked into Amazon subscription service. And then I started realizing I'm right back where I started. The absolute thought of owning is completely a facade. Now, these guys is talking about ad-supported free play and transmedia expansions. They're talking about movies. They're talking about TV. They're talking about anime, cartoons, toys. You see, Xbox is going to be expanding into clothing. The last time I saw Greenie was in Japan. No, that's not true. I saw him in FanFest. When I saw him in Japan, we had agreed to hook up when he got to New York because they had a Bape Ninja Gaiden pop-up shop. Yeah, these pop-up shops just don't happen. They're planned. And I pulled through, grabbed some merch. But their idea is moving into high-end clothing, utilizing the IPs that they have. And because I think Mr. Rightway, Asha asked him, how come you're not wearing any Xbox gear? And Mr. Rightway told Asha, and I'm paraphrasing, because you don't have any good gear. I told him he had a missed opportunity there. He was supposed to step up and tell her, use me as a brand ambassador, yada, yada, yada. I could point you on the right way, blah, blah, blah. He always got to be closing. Always got to be closing, especially when you're talking to people that got millions and you're trying to get to the bag. Always be closing. Don't ever have a conversation with somebody that's gotten to the bag that they can't help you get to the bag. Get to the bag. They have avenue. But they're moving in that direction. I got merch that signifies that Xbox is moving in that direction. They have sneaker collabos that they're moving in that direction. So the expansion of Xbox outside of just console sales is imminent. The reduction of staff is imminent. They already started with 1,600 more to go. Microsoft has pulled all the levers to ensure Xbox has a clear runway for growth. The group has held mass layoffs. They let go 1,600 people in the fiscal year of 2026 alone, canceled projects, diversified studios, while laying out new targets to help ensure quality and quantify its so-called growth. These drastic calls are expected to start paying off this fiscal year, Satya Nadella says. When it comes to Xbox, we're making the necessary decisions required across our content portfolio, platform, and operations to reset the business for the long-term growth. We have the best IPs in the industry, the talent, the studios around the world, and we believe that we can bring these strengths together and expect to return to business to growth in the fiscal year of 2027. I told you, come hella high water, Asha was going to absolutely win. But a lot of you guys says, what does it look like for growth? What's the number that they need to be greater than? King, what is the number? I don't know what that number is, because if you would have said 200 million, I would have said, hell yeah, that's a good start. It's brought to you by Tweaktown and Jack Connor. Xbox boss admits 200 million new players weren't enough to grow the business. Xbox CEO Asha Sharma has commented on Xbox recent financial report, saying more than 200 million new players have come to Xbox and our games in the fiscal year of 2026. Xbox added over 200 million new players in the fiscal year of 2026. Revenue fell 10% as user growth didn't translate into monetization. That means these free-to-play games, these aspects in which people are accessing your content, aren't turning into cash. How can you fix that and make that happen? Asha Sharma said Xbox must invest in what players value and hold close to close the gap. It expects growth by the end of 2027. Game Pass underperformance. Project Helix concern. Mixed Halo campaign evolved. Response undermines this challenge. You see, Project Helix is a device that is not necessarily going to grow the platform. I know you guys are like, well, what do you mean, King? Because it's going to be preaching to the choir. It's going to be talking to existing content lovers. How do you reach those people that is outside of your ecosystem that you need so desperately in order to grow the platform? That is the biggest question. And we're seeing it with the Hisense stuff. We're seeing it with anything outside of video games. But the actual number, the growth sector in which Xbox is drastically smaller than where they want it to be. Xbox CEO Asha Sharma admitted the platform added 200 million users in the fiscal year of 2026, but despite the increase in players, the business did not grow performably. In a statement posted on X, Sharma acknowledged that there's a widening gap between new Xbox users and revenue generation. We need to close that gap by investing in what players value, she said. That will take time. We expect to return to growth by the end of the fiscal year of 2027. You see, this language tells you that the road map is set for 2027. With putting stuff like Fortnite inside Game Pass and giving people who get that ultimate tier, the Fortnite crew, with Fortnite being one of the pillars of the live services that ends in the top 1 and 2 every month. Well, that gives them a larger chance to gain in that sector. I don't know where the hell those 200 million individuals came from. I don't know what those 200 million people are playing. But if those 200 million people ain't buying, well, goddamn, what are you doing? At least get 100 million of them. At least half of them got to buy something. Imagine having people show up and don't drop off something. That's crazy. And I don't know how they change it. But I think exclusives is how they change stuff. With what I know about Gears E-Day, with what I see from Gears E-Day, I think that's a great starting point. For what I know with Forza Horizon 6, so what I played with Forza Horizon 6, console exclusives mean more than what you think. You see, today, Mist Fall Hunters is available in Game Pass. Day one drop. PlayStation has a discount. They have a demo. But the full game is inside Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. And for a minute, that's going to be a console exclusive. Now, I'm going to show you more about that, but we're going to talk about this. See, this is brought to you by Tweaktown and my man Derek Strickland yet again. Microsoft now identifies exclusives as a way to grow Xbox. In a stark 180-degree turn, Microsoft now lists exclusive video game content as a way to help measure the growth at the Xbox Interactive division. Microsoft treats exclusive game content as the key growth metric for Xbox after the fiscal year of 2026 earning decline. The game division has rebranded Xbox, focusing on active users, game availability, exclusive device performance, and in new experiences. Microsoft plans at least one exclusive yearly, including Gears of War E-Day and Clockwork Revolution. They have to plan more than one. You see, in order for it to be effective, you must have at least 2 blockbuster titles that land on your platform outside of your yearly, like Diablo, Overwatch. Outside of that, your Halo multiplayer, Battle Pass. Outside of that, you need to have games that actually move the needle. Now, we know that Microsoft has made this big U-turn. And one of the games that I was very interested in, but wasn't going to buy, I'm not going to lie to you. I have too much. Like right now, I'm playing Hell Is Us. And you see Campaign Evolved dropped in there. I'm still stuck with Buckshot Roulette, which is, I don't know why. But this game pops out, and I said, well, what the hell? And I didn't know what this game is or what it was asking to do. Was it another Souls-like?
Where are you? Come back to mommy.
And that's what it looks like.
Run!
But for individuals that this type of game matters to them, it's day one inside Game Pass. Is it a multiplayer? I want to know. I want to know, have any of you guys started messing with it? What up, Bone T? My life can't take all this lusciousness dropping inside Game Pass. Is it a boss rush? It looks insane. But I ain't gonna sit here and hold you. What I'm gonna tell you is, if you want to see the rest of this joint, go and play it. It's inside Game Pass. Mistfall Hunter is available day one on Game Pass. We're gonna get to that. And this is brought to you by Pure Xbox and Craig Reed. Mistfall Hunter is available today with Game Pass day one. And you know, the reviews are saying it's a mixed bag. What are reviews are saying? Good extraction game with with a ton of Elden Ring references. The bot play in the beginning is a little boring, but it's running nice. Mixed reviews because no OCE server. Phantom Tricks on stream, a bit choppy, but stabilized quickly, and the beta was incredible. Really excited for this game's potential. All right, so that was the early on stuff. There's no Metacritic on this just yet, so instead they're taking a gander at some of the latest Steam user reviews. I'm not going to go by the Steam stuff because I will play on Xbox regardless because Game Pass allows me to do so. But this is the day one stuff that I'm talking about. This is the stuff that gets us back into the mood. This is what Game Pass is meant for. This is where we're at with it. And if you happen to be a part of the platform, then I say go get it. I'm going to finish playing Hell Is Us. I'm invested into this ecosystem. I'm invested into this game. I'm locked in. I don't know. There's so much stuff to play and so many different ways to play it if you're an Xbox platform user. We're at a point now where things are getting different. Things are getting strange. Cost is too high, but services is available. What does that truly mean for us as gamers? How do you fit in? But I only see prices going up. I haven't seen gas prices go down. I only see prices going up. And I'm going to tell you guys, honestly, August 1st, the price goes up on consoles for Xbox. September, the price goes up for Nintendo. I'm pretty sure that Sony is going to raise the prices right before Grand Theft Auto 6. Why not? Why not get your bag? You already don't care about your fan base anyway. These consoles is going to go up because the price of RAM is going to continue to go up. The price of storage is going to continue to go up. Don't live in a world delusion. Don't fool yourself. Look at the platforms. Look at what the platforms offer you. If it's something that you love, if it's something that you want to get into, make it happen. But make it happen fast. Because I was talking to some people and they said they expect consoles to be at least $100 to $200 more this time next year. We're talking about the same existing hardware. No. Are you going to be one of those people that's going to stream? Are they going to force you into streaming? I don't know. But I know it's an option for Xbox. It ain't no option for PlayStation. It's either get down or lay down over there. But this is Xbox Frontline News. If you loved anything that you saw here, please become a sub. Don't take nothing. Hit that sub, hit that like, and share it out. But if you want to contribute to the channel in a greater capacity, become a member. Oh, Google user sub. And you know what happens. Headbanger music is played. Get some, get some, get some, get some. I'm going to see Spider-Man tomorrow. And if you saw Spider-Man today, I don't like you. Enjoy it. Because I'm going to have my costume on. I'm ready to wear it. I'm ready to put on my costume. Woo! Is he Spider-Man ready? In God we trust. Yes, he is. But again, if you liked anything that you saw here, you want to become a member, do so. If you want to become a sub, do so. I appreciate you. Tomorrow's Fight Night Fridays, and we're going to get it in. But today is the day that I'm going to tell you to go where game is game and win is win. And I want you to try to play the Game Pass, but before, and try to play the Game Pass shirts in stores. Go do that. You get a chain just like mine. You see that? Look at that. Boop, 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 boop. Rock that. But I told you, I'm the unmitigated best at this. And if you have anybody better than me, then put them up.
What's a man or a king? What's the saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox. Spin the block, his legs live. Fast talking, no riddling. Moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That flash making a portrait. Gun kick back, knock grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? What's the saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from. I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Said what you running from, what you running from. I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. That's what you wanted, huh?